Selling on Alibaba.com has gotten easier than ever. Introducing our new flexible payment plan options. When you sign up for an Alibaba.com seller membership, choose between paying annually or quarterly. Regardless of which plan you choose, get the same seller service and all-encompassing suite of features that make us the world's leading online B2B marketplace. With 0% commission taken on sales, keep the customer relationships you make and profits you win. Conduct business the way you want to. Build the business you've always wanted, now with more flexibility than ever. Let's make it easy to do business anywhere.
Sell on Alibaba.com.
I know that I have to keep going and growing into the future.
It's a roller coaster being an entrepreneur.
Making minimum wage.
It was really tough, but it's important to trust your gut.
I know this is
I know that I have to keep going and growing into the future.
It's a roller coaster being an entrepreneur.
Making minimum wage.
It was really tough, but it's important to trust your gut.
I know this is gonna work. I know this is gonna work. I know this is gonna work.
And that's where our research began, like, oh my gosh, we could actually do this.
And that was the moment. If no one else is going to do this, then I have to.
And that is where the process really began. We thought of an idea, make our own paddles that didn't just look good, it actually played well.
Produced bamboo toothbrushes that also gave back to different causes.
A vinyl figure for my kids to create new characters based off of their imaginations.
Finding the right supplier was the most important step in the process.
We can actually source the products from Alibaba.com.
It was like lightning just struck.
When I started reaching out to suppliers, I learned a lot.
I worked with the design and the engineering.
We got a few dozen prototypes, we played with them, we tested them, the manufacturer listened to our feedback.
They helped coach me on the entire process from start to finish.
And then finally getting the one. This is it. This is our product that's now ready for the world.
It was like Christmas. There's this thing that you designed, that you created, and it's here, it's real.
People started placing pre-orders.
My dad was the person that we actually shipped the first one to. I remember he was so excited.
There's a certain sense of joy when you see a kid's face light up when they play with these toys.
People see the vision and they are part of the vision. Being an entrepreneur
Is the greatest job ever.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, How to Digitalize Your Brand and Sell to Global Markets. Thank you so much for showing up and tuning in today. I'm Jessica Chen. I'm a marketing manager at Alibaba.com North America. I'm currently zooming in at you from the New York office. Today, we have some really cool special guests here to talk about this really cool topic. But before we begin, we always like to start with like a very brief poll. Don't worry, it's only 3 questions to get to know you a little bit before we continue. And also, you might have noticed that there is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. At any point during this presentation, you can put your question in there and then we will address them there's like 2 Q&A sessions throughout this, so that one after our special guest, Alex Helander, speaks. So we'll answer them then. So anytime, please put your questions in the box. This is the fun part about these kind of presentations. So yeah, let's go to the poll. Here we go. First question is, what are you looking to do on Alibaba.com? Some of this is going to help inform us how we want to talk about like the platform, because it is very flexible. A lot of people know that you can source products on the platform, but some people may not know that you can also sell things as well. And it's not only like suppliers from China. So that's like a major goal of our team. So I'm gonna give you guys another 5 seconds. Thank you so much for participating. We always appreciate it. All right, and poll. So it looks like the majority of you guys want to both sell and source, which is very fascinating. There are definitely quite a few number of like suppliers who do this. Okay, and next question. Tell us about your business. So what kind of business are you? Like, how would you describe what you do? Are you a manufacturer, a wholesaler distributor, a retailer, or something else? Again, this will help us figure out how best to address some of your questions. Please, thank you so much. All right. So I'm going to give you another 5-ish seconds, get those answers in there. All right. So share results. So it looks like a lot of you guys are retailers with one of you being a manufacturer. Manufacturers have like a really awesome business opportunity on this platform. So I encourage you to keep listening until the end. All right, and then finally we have, what are you looking to learn about this session? So do you want to like learn how to predict buyer behavior, the differences between selling products domestically versus internationally, what strategies suppliers can use to understand what to sell next, or how to expand your business more generally with Alibaba.com? I do sometimes feel that from the questions we get, that what exactly the platform can do is kind of a question, and that's a very important one we would like to answer today. So thank you. Let's share the results. So it looks like most of you guys want to see how to expand your business at Alibaba.com. I do think this presentation will help address that question. So you're in the right place. Thank you so much for participating in our poll. All right. So, and then here's like a very, very brief video so that you can like have the context for the rest of this presentation. It just gives a brief introduction to our platform. So here we go. Hope you enjoy.
Unleash infinite business opportunities with Alibaba.com, the world's largest online B2B marketplace. With over 40 million active buyers, 300,000 daily inquiries, important business deals are being made around the world all the time using our platform. Best of all, we take 0% commission on your sales. By signing up as an Alibaba.com supplier, you keep the money you earn, every single cent. Now is the perfect time to sign up. Professional onboarding services can get you started faster and with less stress than ever. Take advantage of classic Alibaba.com features, such as attracting buyers from over 200 countries and regions to your online store, where they can reach out with inquiries about your products. There's also no need to worry about language barriers. We translate your store and messages into 15 languages so you can communicate with the world with ease. Proactively net orders by browsing and responding to sourcing requests on the Request for Quotation or RFQ market. Any relationships you gain from reaching out to sourcers on the RFQ market are yours. Finally, attain exclusive data-driven insights and 24/7 customer support from our team right here in the USA. We'll help guide you to success using proprietary insight gained from our over 20 years in online B2B sales. Because of these features, Alibaba.com has become the wholesale B2B platform trusted by US suppliers. Grow with us no matter your business type. Now, it's easier than ever to start selling with our new flexible payment options. Let's make it easy to do business anywhere.
Sell on Alibaba.com.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Now I'm going to quickly introduce what the agenda for today is. So the first part is going to be held by Mattia Miglio, who's the Director of North America Business Development here at Alibaba.com. And his section is about how to digitalize your brand and sell on Alibaba.com. And our second section is going to be held by our special guest, Alex Helander, Global Supplier Relationship Consultant at Fashion Mingle. And we're really excited to hear what he has to say about global experiences to enhance your brand. And then we're going to have like a brief Q&A session with Mattia and Alex. So you can ask directly about Fashion Mingle stuff or more like business development things. But and remember, if you want to ask any of your questions, you can input them at any time in the Q&A box. So that's the first time we'll answer questions. Then we'll wrap up with how to start selling, like how do you get onto the platform for Alibaba.com for those of you guys still interested. And we'll wrap up with the final Q&A session for like Alibaba.com centric questions. So that's it. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mattia.
Hi, Jessica, how's it going? Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm live from Mexico City. That is a very cloudy day today. I just want to remind you all that you are here today at our Alibaba .com USA webinar series. Our webinar series is designed to provide you with engaging and informative session focused on industry insights, tips, how to sell on Alibaba, how to source on Alibaba. We deliver every 2 weeks valuable knowledge, trends, and practical tools for you to go on a global scale. If you register in our, subscribe in our YouTube channel, that is Alibaba USA Sellers, you will find all the webinars where we have organized this year, but also some success cases from our sellers, and also some education of our ASTE program that deliver insights of our platform to all of you. You're here today. I see many of you have logged in our Zoom, but also we are live on YouTube, live on LinkedIn, and live in our platform. So I'm very engaged today because I saw that many of you are interested to sell and source on Alibaba.com. Before introducing what is Alibaba.com, we recently have organized a big event in Las Vegas, and Alex was one of our speakers. Alex is part of Fashion Mingle. Fashion Mingle has been a partner of Alibaba at Co-Create, and we're really thrilled of what we can do together. If you don't know Fashion Mingle, I suggest you to check it out. It's so-called the LinkedIn of fashion. So all the most important and influential professionals that are working in the fashion industry are in Fashion Mingle. But Alex is also a professor at Parsons, FIT, and many others university. I will ask Alex to introduce himself later on. So we are very interested to understand how we can support your companies to go on a global scale. So as I said, before introducing what Alibaba.com is, we would like to share some insights from our recent Co-Create event. During Co-Create, we have shared what are the digital export trends that Alibaba.com has forecasted for 2024. First of all, digital migration. We have forecasted that 70% of small companies will make more investment in digital innovation, integrated even more digital components to any omni-channel strategies. So if you are already in making investment in digital marketing, in different social media platforms or search engines, Alibaba.com is the perfect ad for this strategy, because we'll open up new markets, but will also make you understand if your product is right in specific market, or if your price is right, and if buyers, retailers, and imported distributors from more than 200 countries and regions are looking for your products. The second trend is searching for any supplier will increase more than 93%. And we will see also an increase of need of communication with personalization aspect where will be up of 60%. So the increase that we are seeing in our platform are for products, but also for personalization. And the first trend is the time spent by export manager will increase even more and will reach 40%. And seller and buyers will increase their time spent in real messaging by 30%. These were the 5 digital trends that we have forecasted using our Alibaba.com platform and interviewing our community of sellers and buyers. I remind you, I will tell you more later, that our community consists of 40 million buyers from 200 countries and regions and 200,000 sellers, not only from China, because Alibaba.com today is not just a platform for Chinese company to sell to China. It was when it was created in 1999. Today is a global platform with companies from all over the world that sell on a global scale. As I mentioned, our clients in EU, US, and Southeast Asia are mainly manufacturer and small and medium enterprises. So you can find in our platform Italian wines. I'm from Italy, as you can probably hear from my accent. French cheeses, beauty brand from the US, food here from Mexico. I met many companies in the last 2 weeks here in Mexico in the food and beverage sectors, machinery from Germany, ingredients from the Middle East, and more. And as you can see, also we have some differences in our platform. Our ideal type, business type, are manufactured in the world. Here, when you read CGS, it means Chinese suppliers. But also you can see that the annual revenue in foreign B2B trade are usually small and medium enterprises. So if you are small and medium enterprises and this is a platform that is for you. But also maybe it's the first time that your company wants to sell abroad. And our platform is designed for small, medium enterprises to start their online journey. As you can see, the 60% are companies that did not have any digital experience in the past. But what is our value proposition? And we can go to the following slide. The platform is designed to support you to expand your export activities in countries and to expand your omni-channel strategy. And our success, you can see on the right side of the slide, we provide good customer services. How? Because today we are present in the United States with 5 offices and with account managers that will follow you and will guide you through the journey. As I mentioned in our YouTube channel and invite you to subscribe, we have our key account manager that delivers an educational program for all the sellers that will join in our platform. But we are growing. Alibaba.com is growing on a daily basis, and our platform is evolving with new technologies because we are seeing that B2B opportunities are growing, and because of the complex value chains of today global supply perspective. And going to the following slide, why it is important that your company considers not only B2C, but also B2B. Well, the answer lies in this number. B2B is valued more 6 times larger than the B2B e-commerce. So if your company, if you're a manufacturer, I saw that many of you are just starting with their businesses, you have to consider B2B because you will find your distributor, your importer in the United States and abroad. Our buyers team is promoting our platform and is engaging with what we call level 4 buyers, qualified buyers that can meet the demands of our suppliers. And also, we are expanding because B2B trade is not yet been digitalized. From these numbers, from these percentages, you can see that the 61% of manufacturers are do not have any e-commerce site, and the 71% of small businesses do not yet sell online. And this opens a huge opportunity in many sectors. We are seeing in our sales team, and I know that Jalis will tell you more about this later on. we evaluate your company, your product, if it's a right fit for our platform. But many category, we have a high demand and an undersupply in our platform. So because, as you know, and we can go to the following slide, today supply chains are very complex. Global supply chains, we call it rich supply chains. And here is the growth that Alibaba.com is seeing. We are seeing a 46% of growth in revenue in Europe. And the sectors that are driving this growth are machinery, food and beverage, fashion and beauty, home and garden. In Southeast Asia, where Alibaba is highly present, we are seeing a 11% of growth in these sectors: beauty, furniture, apparel, and construction. And here in the United States, these are the sectors that are growing. We are seeing an overall growth of 54% year on year, and food and beverage, health and wellness, consumer electronics, home and garden are driving these growth. As I said, global buy, global sell. We have seen a rise of non-consumer goods in Asian countries, and we're seeing a rise of consumer goods in Europe. For example, if you are working in the food and beverage sector or in the beauty and wellness sectors, today, this sector represent a blue ocean in Alibaba.com, because buyers from all over the world are looking for made in US products. And these are the numbers of Alibaba.com, and we can go to the following slide. The portion of high quality business opportunities continues to increase. We see an increase year on year, 34%, and organic buyer visit are on a 28% increase. So the platform can support, and this was the topic of this webinar, to drive B2B e-commerce because it's easy and secure. We are answering to the needs of small, medium enterprises all over the world with inclusivity. We have technology, innovation. I like to invite you to check out the last webinar we have organized, where I introduced our Smart Assistant. That is a new tool that will support your journey and communication with buyers across the globe. Digitalization, we have introduced new tools that will support small and medium enterprises to create storefront, product listing, simplicity, secure protection thanks to our trade assurance program, and of course, logistic. Let's now understand better what Alibaba.com is. As you can see here in this slide, as I mentioned, it was created as a PC-based platform in 1999, and it was considered like the yellow pages to support Chinese companies to go global. Today, we are a complete different platform. We are a global platform. In 2007, we introduced the order placement. In 2012, we have introduced our payment solutions, and in 2018 we have introduced the fulfillment. And during Co-Create in Las Vegas, we have introduced our new technology that will be that are released in our platform right now and are changing the way the companies are using our platform. And as you can see, we went from a rich supply to a one-step fulfillment. And how Alibaba.com was able to do that? Because we are part of an ecosystem of companies, more than 22 companies in B2C, logistics, cloud, communication, and marketing that are support travel, that we are supporting companies all over the world to digitalize their business. And thanks to this huge community of users. We are expanding. For example, I will stay here in Mexico for the next 2 months, where I'm meeting with companies. I went to trade shows, and I'm meeting with buyers to increase our community, but also our ecosystem of partners. Alibaba, and thanks to this number, what we can say is that Alibaba.com today is the B2B e-commerce platform for global trading. And I want to repeat our numbers. We have more than 30 million active buyers from 200 countries and regions, 200,000 suppliers from 75 countries. We have today thousands of companies from Europe that are joining, also thanks to agreements that Alibaba.com was able to sign with all the governments in Europe, association and chambers, and we are expanding right now here in the US. Last week, we have launched a new initiative. If you're working in the beauty sector, I invite you to check it out. It's American Beauty Show. You can check it out in our US Alibaba.com page. We have a special program for all US beauty companies, but also I unveiled today, Jessica, don't be mad at me, on November 21st, we will launch our first state pavilion, and it will be in California. So if you are a California-based company, I invite you to register on November 21st to our webinar, where we will unveil a special program for all companies in California, together with the main chambers of commerce and association that represent the interests of businesses in California. But what is Alibaba.com today? And we can go to the following slide. We're seeing a rise of active buyers in our platform. When we talk about active buyers in our platform, we mean buyers that have logged in the last 30 days, and they have made inquiries, requests for quotation to our sellers. But also the number of transactions in our platform has increased by an outstanding 180% year on year. And these are the sector that are growing in our platform. As you know, our platform works with keyword advertising, and these are the keywords that are now searched the most in our platform, and also the eco-friendly products that are on the rise in our platform. So today, we are a global platform, as I mentioned, and our global seller distribution, you can see it here in these slides, requires companies from all over the world in different markets to leverage on their different value proposition. Top quality, for example, in Europe, better prices, for example, in Asia, and in the US, products that have a short lead time and ease of doing businesses. Furthermore, I talked about buyers, and I wanted to show you the top 19 countries of origin. So if you are interested to export on Alibaba.com into this market, I invite you to register, and you see a QR code here, scan the QR code. We will support you all the way to digitalize your company, your product catalog, and your storefront. And Jalisa from our direct sales team in New York will tell you more. And don't worry, as you can see in this slide, even if you're a small company, with 70% of our companies are startups. So don't be afraid. Also, if you are a founder and you want to initiate your business on Alibaba.com, looking, as I said, in the B2B, so in Alibaba.com, you don't find the final consumer, Alibaba.com is the right fit for you. But also, here in the US, we have a huge opportunity because in many categories, you will be the first seller on Alibaba.com. And our buyers are growing in the US by 116% because they're buying all over the world. And also due to the activities that our buyers team is doing on a daily basis. But let's take a deep dive on the buyer's profile. You can see here the kind of buyers you will find in our platform. As I mentioned, 30 million active buyers that are retailer, manufacturer, agency, importer in different states. We have different ways. If you already have a distributor in a country, you can give a distributor a sub-account. If you want to focus your marketing strategy, for example, in Canada or in Mexico, you can purchase advertising like in all search engines that will focus and target a specific market. Let's go to a following slide. But who are the suppliers that are already in our platform? We have a 31% in health and wellness, 23% in food and beverage, home and garden, followed by consumer electronics and other sectors. These are today the category distribution on Alibaba.com. It doesn't mean if you do not belong in these categories, feel free to scan the QR code and our direct sales team will get in touch with you. We don't want any seller in our platform. Our seller pass the business verification, but also our direct sales team check if the platform is a right fit for you, because we want companies that can engage with our buyers and renew year by year. Also, we have different level of membership. We are not commission-based platform. So Alibaba.com will not take any commission to your sales. You will have to pay for a membership fee and for advertising in our platform. Here is the top level of our membership, that is the verified supplier. The verified supplier is searched by our buyers the most because this verified supplier is verified by third-party agency. We have different agencies all over the world that verify the suppliers, their management, their processes, and also these allow us to have a better engagement of our buyers. And our commitment, as I said, is to become a one-step fulfillment solution and to support your companies to go on a global scale. Jessica, let's go to number 4 because time is running short. And I want to, as I mentioned, our platform is evolving. And I'm here today to introduce you the new features that Alibaba.com has. And let's share this video, Jessica, about our new feature, the Smart Assistant.
Introducing the next stage in our journey. Meet Smart Assistant. It's your personal guide, backing you up from the start. Smart Assistant will be there for you from day one to help you with everything you need to start sourcing on Alibaba.com. It's an expert advisor designed to tailor insights just for you. Discover all there is to know about the products you want to sell, from rising trends to new niche markets. It's your creative designer bringing your ideas to life, helping you realize the products exactly the way you want them to be, instantly. And for you, we imagine so much more. Stay up to date on your target market and tap into business knowledge that goes beyond just data. It's intuition. Discover products ahead of the curve and find opportunities that effortlessly align with your goals. Create your next breakthrough. From a dream to a design to a product that's ready to go, all in one place. Logistics is never easier. But now you'll be able to seamlessly track and expertly predict the passage of your orders across the globe. Join us on this journey. Together, we will co-create the future.
And with this video, I close my presentation and I give it back to you, Jessica. And thanks a lot. And don't forget to scan the QR code if you have any question. Jessica, back to you.
Hi, thank you so much, Mattia. So hope that gave you a lot of inspiration for what you can do on the platform. Now I'm going to turn it over to our special guest, Alex Helander. Alex, can you join us?
Hey, everyone.
Hi. I'll
Nice
hand
to
it off
see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking so many notes on Mattia's presentation that I don't know where to start. It was such a good overview, but thank you. And thank you for having me. It's funny because I'm spending so much time right now on Web3, metaverse, augmented reality, virtual reality, and selling and figuring out ways to sell in that. It's kind of nice to spend a few minutes talking about just good old school, real world e-commerce. So again, thanks for having me. I'm going to pull up my presentation here. And I know that Mattia had covered some of it, but I want to kind of give a quick overview. Just a little bit about myself. Most of my time has been spent in the fashion industry, working for companies like Ralph Lauren Limited, some manufacturers, Sunrise Brands, and then outside of the industry with TerraCycle. If you don't know TerraCycle, I would encourage you to look them up. They are really the world's leading company on tackling sustainability solutions in products like how do you take a cigarette butt and recycle it, all the way up to things that we might be more familiar with, plastics, aluminums, papers, that kind of stuff. And I spent a range of my time on production, product development, manufacturing, traveling to some of the countries represented here by the flags, and then on the sales side as well. Again, always with a focus on sustainability. And I know that was one of the key search words that Mattia had mentioned on the Alibaba platform. So that's really great.
I wanted to jump in slightly, but are you trying to share something right now? Because right now there's no slides visible.
Oh,
yeah.
It's not coming up.
Isn't
that interesting?
Yeah.
I thought it was sharing. Hold on a second here. How about?
Okay.
How about that?
There we go.
Better?
Yes.
Oh, I wish you'd ping me first. Okay. So anyway, that's it about me. I also do teach, as Mattia mentioned, at several universities, fashion universities here in New York, Parsons and FIT, and Watson University remotely in Hyderabad, India. So with digital transformation in the fashion industry, really my part here today is kind of give an overview with the few minutes that we have. I leave the expertise in the functionality of it to companies like Alibaba and others to get into it. But for those of you attending that are represented by the percentages that aren't yet online, allow me to give you kind of the overview for what that might look like. It really is about harnessing the power of technology, not just on the selling side, but on your back end as well. And that's everything from the start of design all the way through to logistics on the back end. Interestingly enough, it wasn't too long ago that most of the fashion companies, and I'm going to focus mostly on fashion since that is my background, but anything that I discussed today universally can be applied to really just about any product or service. But it wasn't that long ago that you had major CEOs of companies like Macy's and even Apple kind of saying, hey, yeah, we get this e-com thing, but we really like it when people come into our stores. Today, you find omni-channel strategies as a must, so you still need those retail stores. But 5-6 years ago, it was a look away towards that e-com as to how it could help the businesses. And now, of course, these two have long since embraced e-com in those businesses, and we've seen the net effect of that. So e-com is a percentage of sales by country. You may have had some different metrics, but all in all, what we see is in the United States, it's still a fairly low number compared to the rest of the world. We have a lot of room for growth, and I think that's reflected in some of those year-over-year sales mentioned previously by Mattia. So there's a lot of room for growth. So if you're not yet online, don't worry about it. There's still a lot of growth, at least here in the United States. So let's get into some of the steps for digitalization. Academically, of course, I'm going to tackle this by really spending a lot of time, as I do with my clients, on the market research. If you're going to do this, you've got to really determine who it is that you're doing it for and why. And that requires a lot of market research. When I'm working with companies, we may do things like surveys, we may do things like SWOT analysis or archetype brand identification. But you really want to take a look at that competitive landscape. You really want to see where those white spaces are, whether that's tracking towards your exact competition, if that's who you can find, whether that's taking a look at the largest player in the field and determining what is it that they're providing and where can you come into the market and participate and compete against, whether it's those small, nimble companies that have some unique value proposition. They're moving really fast. They're innovating really fast. They seem really cool. Think of maybe an Apple in the early days where they're just really coming out with products all the time. And then as they say, the opportunities with that are those that lead usually have arrows in their backs. And that, of course, everybody's taking shots at the leader. But that also means that where they go, you can take the best of the best, let them do the work and pick up from there and determine your market space and where you're going to have your own unique value proposition when it comes to selling your product or service. Going into content creation for your digital, for creating a digital brand, you really want a professional website, paramount. Of course, you have to have your website. You've got to showcase your brand, your products, and your service. Top line, you need to make sure it's mobile friendly, since many and continued growth is on mobile platforms. So when you do that, make sure that everything is optimized. Again, I won't go through every single detail here, really more top line of things to be thinking about, but you'd be surprised at the misses that people entering don't have when it comes to building out their website. And most importantly, at the back end, you want to make sure it's secure, user-friendly, and can go across your targeted markets, especially if you're going overseas and you're not just staying in the United States. Obviously, there are many companies, Alibaba being one of those, that can help with making sure that that kind of online payment back end is secure. I want to take you through a few iterations of content here as it relates to kind of what it is that you see when you go on a website. So again, mostly on fashion. And this particular one I use as an example because it's really concurrent with what a lot of brands are doing these days. It's that very clean white background, stock product images on there. And while it's easy to navigate and easy to understand, it lacks telling a story. And storytelling is so important to building your brand. I think Mattia mentioned making sure that customers understood that you understood their buying preferences. If they've been a repeat shopper there, like they almost demand that of you as a seller. Well, that's true on the front end. They demand knowing who you are, and that authenticity that's brought by really understanding who you are, what you're doing this for, and the story behind that. Profiled even in some of the videos we saw earlier on this broadcast. But you really have to make sure that you're messaging that correctly, and that goes back in towards that market research that I spoke about. So here, this is very current, a lot of this, but what it does lack is some kind of zing to it. And, we're seeing kind of site after site that represents this. And so you can get lost in the sauce. So let's go through some of that content. You have to have, a sense of what it is that you're trying to do. There is no perfect website. If that makes sense. When you're starting, good is good enough. Don't get so stuck on getting into the weeds of how to get it perfect. You'll never get it perfect. You're always going to be iterating. There's always going to be a new tool to integrate into your website. But you want to get it up so it flows through. There's a good user experience to get started with. There's a way to check out easily, and they're not bumbling along or crowded. Oftentimes you'll see websites that are either, as I said, too clean, no storytelling, stock images, kind of an okay experience, but nothing great, or it's super cluttered, or in the case of this website, it's not sorted so that you're seeing the full price product first. What you're seeing is a bunch of off price or some kind of a discount. It's a real turnoff. So if you've got a bunch of product, a lot of SKUs on your site, especially in the fashion world, it's very SKU intensive. You're going to run into those situations where you're going to want to sort it so you have your full price product first, and then somewhere lower down your sale prices, or a sale price button that you can click on. And of course, if you got too much stuff, I took a screenshot of this site, but I'm bombarded here with ads. I'm bombarded with embedded videos, and I'm probably spending more time clicking off things before I'm even really reviewing what's on the site. So be careful that you don't have too much coming in too. We can only process so much as humans, and especially if it's on a mobile app, it's a limited screen size. So you really have to be cognizant of that. Let's see what else. Making sure your navigation menus are proceeding quickly, and that the resolution for those images aren't so high that you've got slow loading times. Nobody likes to wait more than a couple of seconds for something to happen. If that, we want the immediacy. That's just table stakes for getting started here. And then if you're knowing that you're selling into other countries, if you are planning to sell into other countries, so important to know your product localization, that your products and services are targeted for the specific needs and preferences of your selling markets, including language translations, including the size variations. I'll give you an example. Worked for a company. We owned the North American rights for a company called Superdry, based out of the United Kingdom. You may be familiar with that brand. And we were responsible for distribution and selling, including opening up brick and mortar stores for that company. It was dual gender brand, men's and women's. One of the three founders was the design lead, and tall, skinny, European build, and everything was fitted on him as far as the menswear goes. And there was a huge resistance to modifying those sizes for the US market. And so what we ended up with was a lot of sales on the XL size, extra large sizes, and very few sales on the small, medium, and even larges and men's. Why? Because he didn't take into account a US male customer build, especially in the middle part of the country, as opposed to the coast. And so we lost a lot of sales. And despite our best efforts, we weren't able to convince the brand to modify their sizes for the US market. The bottom line is, after 2 years of trying and a lot of money spent, we handed the license back over to Superdry for them to run, because in part, not fully, but in part, we weren't able to capitalize on our sales. So obviously a big part of that is the digital marketing side, layering in your socials, whether that's Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, etc. How you manage that content, creating valuable and informative content, right? Again, that storytelling is super important. And then, this is the way to get your word out. So you want to be sure you're really clear on how you're doing that. And then you want to optimize it with your search engine, your email marketing, influencers. We talk a lot about influencers, the value of influencers. Pick your influencers carefully, just in the event that they don't align with your brand. You don't want to get stuck with a bad experience with an influencer that really doesn't end up doing what you've asked them to do, and or isn't brand right for your product. And then your market entry strategy, how you really have to take a look at that. How are you going to enter both domestically and internationally? Starts slowly. When I'm working with customers, clients, and they want to tackle Europe. I may suggest one country. I might suggest Europe, United Kingdom, for example. No language issues there. They don't have to do any translations. We're just looking at currency changes and maybe sizing variations, but culturally very similar. Gives them a chance to test that market out before they go into other countries. Similarly, if they're planning to go even further across and into Asia and sell, they really need to work with local partners there to better understand the cultural side and the differences, the nuances, and how to sell in. So they'll partner with other people, and I highly recommend doing that. Cross-border logistics, compliance, and legal considerations. I'm going to skip through this a little bit because I think Alibaba in their presentation did a really good job. I know Mattia was nice enough to share these slides with me, but I think you probably included them in your presentation, so I'm not going to spend time there. I want to just kind of wrap up with a few case studies on those that have done really well in terms of their digital transference or transference to digital. So Coach, everybody's familiar with Coach, accessible luxury brand, known really for their leather bags and sold in department stores, but it invested heavily in e-commerce early on and social media and digital marketing to attract a younger customer for their shoppers. And Coach now sells online in over 50 countries, partners with online retailers, Net-a-Porter, for global distribution as well. So they figured out early on how to leverage the digital side and then put themselves into a much broader marketplace. Allbirds, which is the direct-to-consumer shoe brand, sustainable shoe brand. They were born digitally, right? They didn't start off with any stores. So they started off by creating a global media presence first, and then later opened up brick and mortar stores. But they kept it digital and intentionally grew. They intentionally grew the digital side as their priority, right? So now Allbirds has that marketing effort. Everybody knows about them, and they're in over 20 countries. So that's the way that they tackled it. Outdoor Voices, you may or may not know. It's a little bit smaller company, athletic wear brand here in the United States. And they went and they just built a community first. They really built through word of mouth what it is they do and how they do it. Kind of built an international cult almost, so that by the time they did go from the US into the United Kingdom, they already had a presence there. They might not have had a physical presence in terms of tons of product, but they had a media presence, they had a digital presence, and that allowed them to successfully launch their UK sites physically and digitally much easier than if they just tried to do it all at once. And then the big one, Nike, of course, they've been at it for a very long time. They underwent a significant digital transformation years ago, probably one of the first ones, investing really, really heavily into their e-com platform, launching Nike.com in the early days of the internet, both website, their mobile app, and then they integrated all that technology and things like their Nike Fit Air, AR, so you can do virtual try on with their shoes, et cetera. So they're continuing to push those boundaries there. And then using that digital, of course, enhance their global presence even more. So their sales are off the charts, and the rest is history for that. But the key for these brands, all of these brands, was leading with the digital strategy to build demand globally. And I think that's really important. It's an easier way. It's obviously, it's an omnipresent way to do brand marketing, is that digital marketing. And then they followed up with either websites in countries or physical stores for countries that they decide to expand into. But first getting the name recognition, then following up with a physical store set. So that online first approach allowed all of these companies the flexibility to enter into new markets. And that's it. That's a little bit about me. You can find me at all the normal social handles and at fashionmentorship.com, which is a site that I am part of where we take students and small companies. By the way, most of the companies I work with are small SMBs, small companies to what Alibaba expressed as one of their larger segments of customers that they service.
Thank you so much, Alex, for that really enlightening talk. I also enjoyed all of like the real world examples you had in there. Yeah, so let's see if there are any questions.
Alex, very good presentation.
I guess we can kind of turn this question to a bit of a both an Alibaba question and maybe something that you could comment on, Alex. One of our viewers is asking, like, can you have a pre-sale before having a product on hand? And that sounds like an Alibaba question, but I'm wondering like how maybe this has more to how to bring a product to market type of vibe. Like, do you have anything to say about
for me? Sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen, yes, you can tease out. So let me give you a non-fashion self-publishing, right? Very popular right now for me to send out a poll, a questionnaire, and say, hey, Jessica, would you be interested in me in a book about X, Y, and Z, right? And you say, yeah, or I've just written my first chapter and here it is. And would you be interested in hearing the rest of the X, Y, and Z story? And you're like, yeah. And I send that poll out and I get good responses. Then I go write the book, right? So I haven't done really anything. Maybe I've outlined a few things on chapter 1. I have a sense of where the story is going to go or whatever it is that I'm going to be writing about. But I wait for the test to come back and then I write the book. But if I get my survey back and I'm getting crickets and nobody's really interested in it, then why spend the time and the money and the resources to publish a book that nobody's really interested in? So the same way with a product, you can go out and test that idea. Certainly, digital creation, renderings of a product as opposed to physically making a product. All of that's available now very easily, right? With desktop tools almost. You don't need to be an engineer to do it. So my answer is yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it would also be helpful in like kind of mitigating risk and maybe finding out more about who your audience would really like, what your audience actually wants. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe Jessica from
Mattia, I think, are you muted? For some reason, I can't hear you. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. Sorry for that. On Alibaba.com, you need the actual product to engage with the buyer. If you do not have a product on stock, that is not a problem. I will really recommend that you inform the buyer, because usually our buyers are looking for ready-to-ship products. And secondly, if you are a reseller and you want maybe to bring a product here in the US, I remind you that you need the license of the product, because during our business verification process, we will ask you if you have the distribution of that product, for example, here in the US or abroad. And also I remind you that we do not take any commission on sales. So you sell directly to the buyer. So for us, is not a problem is that the product is not on stock. Our concern is that you engage directly with the buyer, and when you make the agreement, you state directly the time of delivery.
Right. Okay. So do we have any other questions for Mattia or Alex? If not, then we will move on to our last section.
Okay. So Alex, thanks a lot for being with us today. And again, if any one of you wants to meet us, just scan the QR code on the right. And now we leave it back to you, Jessica and Janice.
All right.
Thanks.
Great. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex. Bye.
All right. So I'm going to share the last bit of our PowerPoint. All right. Take it away.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Elise Crespo. I'm an account executive here in New York. And my job is help companies with B2B capacity to expand their visibility through Alibaba.com. As Mattia mentioned, you don't have to be a large company to start selling your products on Alibaba. We welcome all companies that have interest in tap into the B2B marketplace, and you can always set up minimum quantities. And if you have any questions about that, please, you can see my QR code here, scan it and book a consultation, and I can answer any questions that you may have. So let's start with the first step of selling products on Alibaba, and that is to select one of our packages. You can see here we have different cost structures depending on your business goal, how aggressive you wanna be in the B2B market. So our top plan is the verified supplier. Mattia already mentioned it. This is by invitation only. Is more focused in companies that will be able to pass a verification process. We will send a third-party company to, check all of your certifications, licenses, so you attract more clients organically. And certain buyers only, are willing to work with verified suppliers. That's why we take our time to verify these sellers. The second plan that we carry is the premium plan. I would say this is our statement plan on Alibaba, because it brings the most of our account management service. With this plan, you will have 12 months of premium account service that will guide you a step by step. It's going to be one-on-one consultations and emails that are going to be answered in 24 hours. Like, we really are committed to give you the best knowledge of Alibaba. So maybe in the next year, you can even renew in the same plan if you are comfortable with the service, or you can go to a lower price plan, but you already will have the knowledge. We will train you, we will train your team, so you will be an expert on Alibaba.com because of the account management service that we are going to provide during that time. So we also have standard and basic solutions too. So if you want to try first, or if you are more focused in budget, so we have these two options. I'm happy to go over with you with these options. You can schedule a meeting with me and I explain all the details about it. So after you already pick a plan, the next step on Alibaba will be your onboarding stage. So in this phase, we're going to verify your business. We are we really care about buyers, so we go over and verify that you are a legit business. So we will also start with the storefront building. As Alex mentioned, build a really nice and professional storefront is really important for your exposure and the type of audience that you want to attract. So we're going to take our time to build a quality storefront for you. And we also going to help you to upload all of the products that you would like to be online, and the customers can see them. And all of this process is gonna be hand by hand to our account management team, depending on the plan that you already selected. And after that process, the next step is gonna be your growth stage. And this is gonna be more focused in training sessions, one-on-ones, answer any questions, set up the right keywords. It's gonna be a really hand-to-hand service where we are gonna train you in all the Alibaba platform features. Here, we love to highlight the USA Account Manager program, because that's what differentiates the US service to the Chinese or other countries' service. We're really working on customize a service that can help the US companies to bring the most value of their company, of their products on Alibaba. So you will have a dedicated account manager that is gonna give you exclusive technical and operational support, and it's gonna give you a direct, it's gonna be direct service every day. If you have any questions, it's going to be one-on-one. You will write an email and you can expect a really fast response. As I said, one-on-one training and all of the training e-courses are going to be available for you. With this account management service, if you think about time in e-commerce coordination, you will save a lot of time and money. You will have another person in your team that is going to help you to navigate through Alibaba, and it's going to be an expert. So I encourage you to when you're going to select a plan, to really think about this account management service, because it will make a difference in your Alibaba strategy. Now, I would love to introduce some case studies, success stories on Alibaba. The first one is the Strategic Visionary Solutions. This client has been on Alibaba for 3 years now, and his story is really unique. He's a manufacturer, and let's see his story. Jessica.
I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps moving equipment all over the world. One of the things that our equipment was exposed to was lots of salt damage. We had these tankers lined up in the back. I walked out there one day, I took a hammer, I hit the side of the tank, and it went through them. The corrosion had eaten right through the tanks. We had to throw them all away, $1 million worth of equipment from salt fog. Had we had this coating, we never would have lost that equipment.
I began in 2003 to develop the world's most durable coating that you couldn't scratch. Solvents, acids, UV rays wouldn't attack, and would have extreme corrosion resistance. And that's where we came up with the NanoClear brand.
I'm selling product in UAE, Saudi Arabia, Great Britain, and a host of others. We wouldn't have reached those customers without Alibaba.com. We made money the first year. Typically what I have found on trade shows is there's a lot of tire kickers and nobody buys. And so what I find on Alibaba is there's 40 million buyers. They're all looking to buy. When the pandemic was here, if you weren't electronic marketing, you weren't doing very well. Alibaba.com really helped us survive that, and now we're reaching out even more so worldwide. One of our customers came to us and he said, well, I do pools. Can you coat a pool? Let's go coat it. It looked gorgeous. And he said, well, when am I going to have to come back to recoat this? Later this year? I said, no, how about 10 years? He was shocked. If you don't have a belief in that product that it's going to work, you shouldn't sell it. I'm at the hip with this phone 24/7. Top right corner is Alibaba Supplier, because sometimes in the middle of the night, they're zinging me up on that line. Sometimes at midnight isn't such a good thing for me, but it is a good thing for business. Boom, I get the call. Here we go.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Here we can see the importance of, global visibility, to be online. There's a lot of opportunities on Alibaba, and there's a lot of opportunities for domestic market too, if you want to spend, because the 30% of our 40 million active buyers are on US. And if they have the opportunity to do business with companies that are in US and can compete with prices and quality, and they're willing to do it with you. So I encourage you to also think on Alibaba to also a local strategy to expand your business. It's going to be global because you will have global exposure. You can find customers, as the example say, in South Arabia, Africa, all over the world. But also, if you would like to expand your business in the US, we are also a good option. So let's see, the next video is going to be alcohol prevention. They have been in Alibaba for 11 years. And the fact that they had this global visibility in the right time give them the opportunity to expand their business in a huge level. Let's see.
Our products are sold in drugstores. for example. We also have product that we test employees. You know, when they come at work, we want to make sure that they're not impaired or they have too much alcohol, so we can test employees. Or during an event, a corporate event like a Christmas party, for example, we want to make sure our employees or guests are going home, and with our product we can save lives, which is very important. My name is Stéphane Moret, and I've been working in that industry since 1989. So I started that company back in 1989. There was no breathalyzer offered to consumer at that time. All our products are FDA certified. We have all the certification. I think we have the knowledge, and the people they trust us because I give an after-sales service. I treat people like I'd like to be treated as a customer. We need to be sure that people know our products. So working with Alibaba.com, we need to post a lot of products every week, every month, and we want to make sure that our products are on the top list. Being known in every country is very important for us. I remember back in 2013, France made mandatory to have breathalyzer in every car. So we got a lot of people looking for breathalyzer on Alibaba.com, and I was surrounded by hundreds of requests because they were looking for breathalyzer at that time. So we sold millions of units. Can you believe that? The most powerful thing about Alibaba is being known everywhere within a few seconds. I mean, when you do a good job with Alibaba.com, buyers from everywhere around the world, they will know about you. And I can now develop and export my product in over 45 countries. You need to be very dedicated. And I mean, very dedicated can take a lot of time. I mean, answer fast, be serious, be professional. You need to adapt your proposal to every customer, okay? And make it special.
Awesome. So if you would like to watch more success stories, we have our QR code for the YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check all of these stories that are real and they're having huge success on Alibaba because of the exposure that we can, bring to them. So if you have any questions at this moment, please go ahead, but I'll invite you to scan my QR code to book a consultation. I can guide you through the process to sell on Alibaba, answer any questions. We are a huge team of sellers here, and even our dedicated account manager can jump into the meeting to answer any questions, technical questions. We're here to help your business to grow. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jayla. So yes, please, if you can, scan her QR code. I also just sent her booking link into the chat. So if you want something that's clickable, you can go there. Our webinar has gone on a little bit longer than the time, so I don't see any questions. So if everyone is good, then maybe we can adhere. Although I wanted to do one more thing, which is I put in the chat also a registration link for next week's webinar, which is going to be about exporting. If you've ever want to learn about have a crash course on how to take your B2B business digital, tune in next week. We have webinars, as Mattia said, every week on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Pacific. So yes, please click the registration link or, scan the QR code and book a meeting because every business is different, right, Jayla? So
yes.
It's a little bit easier. You can talk one-on-one with people.
We're here.
Yeah.
We want to help.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone. Hope you have a great, wonderful rest of your day. All right, we're signing off. Bye.